Hello, my name is Chief Tom Ford, and I'm the City of Tampa's Fire Chief and Emergency Manager. Welcome to another edition of Unseen with Tampa Fire Rescue. In this episode, we focus on emergency preparedness for emergencies, but specifically hurricanes. Here in Tampa, we are prone to severe weather and are at greater risk to be directly impacted by a hurricane in this, our upcoming season. To help you, we organize and hold a Hurricane Expo each year. Today, let's take a look at this year's Hurricane Expo, which was held at Tampa's Museum of Science and Industry. This event helps prepare our citizens for the hurricane season as well as other emergencies. This year, the focus was on knowing what zone you live in and ensuring you have a plan. Knowing what zone you are in is important and can save you and your family's lives. If you're not in a storm zone, you may not need to evacuate and cause unnecessary congestion on the roadways when you could shelter in your home. But if you are in an evacuation zone, this awareness is essential as well. So how do you find out what zone you're in? We have developed a tool for you. Visit the City of Tampa Fire Rescue website at www.tampagov.net/fire, and at the bottom of the page, fill in the information and click Find Address. You will be able to see your zone, and from there, you can begin your plan. The next step is to sign up for alerts. We in the City of Tampa have Alert Tampa to help alert our citizens. This is a program to provide a push of information to your telephone when an emergency occurs, where you need to be notified. But only you can sign up. This information is also at the bottom of our website. Our goal is to empower you with knowledge so you and your family are ready for a hurricane, storm surge, or other man-made or natural disaster. Remember, how well you live during and after a storm relates directly to how well you prepare before the storm. Prepare today. Building resilient communities is our goal, one person, one family at a time. Now you know your zone and are signed up for alerts. Let's learn more about how you and your family can be ready and resilient during this hurricane season by going to this year's Hurricane Expo. First up, we spoke with Preston Cook, Hillsborough County's emergency manager, for some good advice for Tampa residents.
Well, you know, I shouldn't have to talk people into having a plan, but I want to encourage them to be prepared. And that means having a disaster plan, having a disaster kit, because when the balloon goes up or a hurricane hit and it's really devastated here, we may not be able to get to you for 2 or 3 days or even longer. You better be prepared to take care of yourself for at least a short period of time. Well, in hurricanes, there's 2 things you got to be concerned with. One is the wind, and the other is storm surge. The biggest killer is storm surge. We run from the water, okay? People need to know exactly what their evacuation zone is so that you can get out of the way of the water, okay? Go inland in the county. You don't have to go far, not hundreds of miles, maybe tens of miles. Get away from the water so you can withstand the winds in a safe structure so that you can be safe or your family can be safe. It's not a hard thing to find out. If you need to know your evacuation zone, all you have to do is log on to the county's website, go to HEAT, and you will be able to determine exactly what hurricane zone you're in according to your address, or you can search by name or the criteria to determine exactly where your home is. If it's in a vulnerable location, then you need to start making that plan.
Next, we find out what everyone can do to help themselves and others in the event of a hurricane or a natural disaster.
CERT is a program that's set up to teach citizens how to conduct themselves in the event of an emergency. The citizens will learn basic disaster preparedness skills they need in Florida, for example, for hurricanes, but a lot of other activity or other potential issues. They're taught things like basic search and rescue, medical operations, disaster psychology, team psychology, all the things you would need to make yourself be part of the solution in the event of an emergency as opposed to being part of the problem. In Florida, because of our situation with hurricanes, it's very important to do that. And the things you learn there apply to hurricanes and into your day-to-day life. So we encourage people to come out and learn more about CERT. The website has all the information about it, and we have continual classes throughout the year, so we encourage people to come out and learn about CERT. It's beneficial for everybody in a day-to-day life. You learn how to do things that you might come across in your own home. You may have a little emergency, a fire in your own home. You learn how to use a fire extinguisher. That kind of thing there's something everybody can learn from CERT, and there's something everybody can contribute to a CERT program in the area. Been used in the 2004 storm season. GT CERT was sent down to Wauchula to help the day after the hurricane. The hurricane came through to do search and rescue and to do hand out ice and water at a point of distribution that was set up. And that's things that CERT is still practicing to this day. So it's definitely very, very hands-on and very has use.
Many of us have pets at home that we love very much. In the event of a hurricane, what's the right thing to do to protect our pets if we need to evacuate? Mary Jo Maruka from Hillsborough County Animal Services has some great suggestions.
In the event of a hurricane, actually what you want to do is start preparing right now. Don't wait until the storm's out there. And start stocking up on your water. It's the same rules as what you have for people. You want to have at least 1 gallon of water per pet per day. Keep a lot of that ready. Have plenty of food available. Make sure you've got their medications available. Flea protection, heartworm protection, anything that animal's going to need, have it ready. In the event of a hurricane, if it's coming and there is an evacuation coming, if you can't take your pet with you, if you don't have any friends outside of the evacuation zone that you can go to, we do have 4 pet-friendly shelters in Hillsborough County. Well, those are Sergeant Smith's Middle School, which is in Citrus Park area. We've got Bartell's Middle School in Tampa, Burnett Middle School in Seffner, and Shields Middle School, which is in Ruskin. Any of those 4 shelters, you can take your dog or your cat. You bring them in a carrier similar to this, with their medications, with the favorite blanket, with the toy. You stay with your pet. It's not a place where you just take them and drop them off. You stay with them. They go into a little area, and up until the winds start to get 40 miles an hour, you come in and you have a bracelet, just like at the hospital. And then the pet has a matching one around their neck. You come, you take care of your pet during a scheduled feeding time and during a scheduled walk time, and then once the winds hit 40 miles an hour, then everybody goes to their safe area and we stay on lockdown until the storm passes. But just make sure that you bring everything with them that they need, have a current rabies vaccination and a current tag, keep all the vaccinations up to date. Take your picture with your pet. People try to do that unscrupulous things, unfortunately. So have your picture with them, a little write-up like what we have here with all of their vaccination records, everything in a sealed plastic bag. Never, ever, ever, ever evacuate without your pet. That's why we have these shelters. If you can't take your pet with you, take them bring them, evacuate with them to the shelter. You never leave them alone by themselves.
Hurricane season impacts us all, and all of us need to be ready, especially those with access and functional needs. If you or your family have transportation limitations, vision or hearing limitations, or other communication or functional needs that are impactful, your evacuation requires even more planning. We will hear from Hillsborough County's Americans with Disabilities Act liaison, Sandra Schroka, who will give us some suggestions to implement now before the storm arrives.
Well, people with disabilities, whether it's a wheelchair user or someone who may be deaf or hard of hearing or have vision problems, do need to really think about and really put some thought into preparing their emergency preparedness plan or being prepared should we have a hurricane come, since we're in hurricane season. You need to think about, are you going to need to look at a special needs shelter or an accessible general shelter? What kinds of things do you need to put in your Be Prepared pack? It may need to be more than water and food and even medicine. Do you use batteries for certain things? Do you have a service animal? Do you need to plan for the service animal, food, whatever? If you use a lot of power, like you're a power chair user, what are you going to do if there's no electricity? Do you have a backup manual chair? Do you have a regular caregiver type of person or personal care assistant that comes and assists you every day? Do they know what your plan is? Are they going to be able to get to where you are? So you really need to put some forethought into that. And of course, we always encourage people, if you think you are going to need to go to a shelter, to please sign up either for the special needs shelter, or if you might need transportation to any shelter, you can still do that by applying through the special needs shelter application process. So there's a lot to think about if your wheelchair user is going to be in physically accessible environment. Pick up to, I think it's over 39 miles an hour. Even none of the emergency vehicles, none of HART vehicles, no sunshine vehicles are allowed to be out on the road. So you need to think about it and you need to put your plan into play.
Hello? And we came to the Hurricane Expo one other year and we enjoyed it so much. We got such good information. We thought we needed to come back again. We've been hearing all about getting prepared. We've been very fortunate so far to not have a lot of storms, but we figure we might as well get ready. Never know.
Let's see. We're interested in the pet protection, and that's what we're coming to see, and also protection for our windows in case of a storm, and our screened-in lanai in the back.
We want to tell our whole community that hurricane season is on us now. We're going to be here through 1 June all the way through 30 November. It's so important that our community helps us to protect them. And the way they do that is by ensuring that they've got a family disaster plan, that they are really prepared to weather this storm as well. All of their critical information, they've got it up to date as well and ready to go with them in the event of a major storm that impacts our area. But we cannot say enough about how important it is that everyone has a disaster plan that works. And they need to realize this, their preparedness and their plan is only going to be as good as the amount of effort they put into that plan to protect them. Because again, government may not be able to get to them for 72 hours. They need to be able to protect themselves for that 72 hours until we can get to their rescue. I couldn't agree more. Remember to know your zone and sign up for alerts. Then make and practice your plan. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Unseen with Tampa Fire Rescue. Your planning now can help you during and after the storm. It may even save your life. Visit us today at tampagov.net/fire and learn more on how you can be ready, Tampa. I'm Fire Chief Tom Forward. Join us next time. Have a great day and stay safe.